What is up, people? We're back. The breakdown here on the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network. Max Friedman here, Trademark MMA, joined as always by MMA DNA's own co-founder, main contributor, leader, the Netherlands' greatest postman, Marcel Dorf. Big Marcel 24. How you doing today?
Yeah, man, I'm doing well. Thank you, Trademark MMA. Doing well. A little bit tired, to be honest.
All right, well, better wake up because we got a card to break down, and a big story today emerged in the world of MMA regarding the UFC rankings. And I want to give you the floor because I know you got some strong opinions here. So, some things came out about, notes about the rankings, especially with that featherweight fight between Josh Emmett and Shane Burgos over the weekend. So, you know what? Floor is yours. And then I think you probably have a little bit stronger of a stance and more facts behind it than I have. I haven't gotten too much of time to research it as much. So you start things off, give us your thoughts, and then I'll chime in.
So it actually started earlier this morning. It was still at night for you, I think, that Jedi Goodman, he posted the rankings, which are still not online, by the way. But
yeah, I looked this morning and they weren't there.
Yeah, but the media rankings are made. It's not just published yet, and it's also on TSN, by the way, if you want to check it. Josh Emmett didn't went up a spot, just remained on 8. Frankie Edgar is still above him. Frankie Edgar is to the bantamweight division, so I don't know what's up with that. And Shane Burgos dropped 4 spots to 14. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening there? Because that was a close fight, And then, so I basically tweeted out, like, doesn't make sense, for both guys. And then Eric Cowell from my MMA News, he replied to me, like, there was a note attached as well. And I was like, enlighten us with your note, because I don't know what you're talking about. And he tweeted out a note where a second party, I have to say, who were between the rankers and the UFC, made a note how you should rank. And it was specifically about every fight, but this was specifically about the Emmett Burgos fight. And it was like, if Emmett wins, he can only go up 1 place above Frankie Edgar, but not above Calvin Kattar, because Calvin Kattar beat Stevens and Stevens beat Emmett. It's just like that. And if he loses to Shane Burgos, he could be even dropped from the rankings, because Bryce Mitchell is 4-0 in the UFC, and he has more. He makes more sense to put in the rankings over Emmett if he loses. The same Shane Burgos. Shane Burgos, if he wins, he can go like above Emmett. And also above Edgar, I think. And if he loses, you can drop him from the rankings if you want, because Bryce Mitchell is 4-0. His best win is against Charles Rosa. I want to say Rosa. Charles Rosa, which is a unanimous, dominant unanimous decision. And Shane Burgos' best win is a split decision over Cub Swanson. And those wins are comparable, they said. But
did they forget that Shane Burgos finished Charles Rosa?
Exactly. So, and also on that list, they showed the ranked opponents they fought. And on Shane Burgos' list, they didn't show Cub Swanson, which was ranked at the time Shane fought him, because otherwise Shane wouldn't have been in the rankings, I mean, it's kind of weird to me, no disrespect to the guys who leapfrog Shane, those 4 guys, but doesn't make sense to me, man. It was a close fight. You can actually argue that Shane won the first 2. I don't say he did, but you can argue he did. But he lost the 3rd round, in my opinion, by 10-8, by 2 knockdowns. You should award a fighter who gives 2 knockdowns a 10-8, in my opinion. So for me, it was a draw. I can see people having Emmett winning it. So there is no controversy for me in the score at all, in my opinion. I think it could be either way. But to drop in 4 spots, kind of weird to me, man. That was a great fight. That was a barn burner, man. It was an amazing fight. So it's pretty disrespectful, in my opinion, to drop him 4, and also to not give Emmett a spot up at least for that.
Yeah. It's mind blowing. Every time the rankings come out, things don't make sense. It's very clear that.
Can I give a shout out to Eric Cowell?
Yeah, great guy, great minds. Yeah. Always putting good content out there in my MMA News.
He put that out in public, like many others wouldn't do that, and I give him props for that, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to a brighter note. Uh, Despite the rankings controversy, for the first time since UFC Brasilia back in March, I finally picked up a win over you, Big Marcel, over the weekend. UFC Vegas 3 favorites went 4-8. That was also your record for the evening. I went 7-5. We both nailed the fight of the night correct, so picking up a bonus. Both missed on our underdog pick of Lyman Good. He just, it didn't seem like his heart was in there. I understand given the situation, but I really think that's a winnable fight for him. But hats off Bilal Muhammad, he looked good. I hit on the lock with Pennington. You missed with Brianna Van Buren, with Tisha Torres picking up the win there. So standings are as follows. I cut the lead a little bit. You're at 105-67. I'm at 98-74, so I'm 7 back instead of 10. You got 11 bonuses. I got 8. 10 of 15 on your underdog picks. Pretty good for you. I'm at 6 of 15, so I need to work on those. 13 of 15 for locks for me. You're at 10 of 15. So you've picked the same amount of underdogs correctly as you have locks. Just goes to show you how exciting the sport is. We look ahead. UFC Vegas 4 coming up this weekend. Bout order, courtesy of our good friend MMA Form Guide. Check out his great content on Twitter. If a fight drops, he's got your times covered. The right bout order, everything you need to know in your time zone. Check him out. Featherweights, starting things off, Jordan Griffin, Youssef Zalal. Zalal at -115, Griffin at -105. So Jordan Griffin gets pulled last minute from a fight 2 weeks ago against Derek Minner. Now he's rebooked. The native psycho, he might have saved his UFC career last time out with that come-from-behind submission win over TJ Brown in February. Prior to that, he had gone 0-2. The Moroccan Devil, Youssef Zalal, 8-2 as a pro out of Factory X, works closely with UFC lightweight Devontae Smith and welterweight James Krause. One is short notice UFC debut, pretty clear decision over Austin Lingo in February. Right back here, short notice again. Marcel, Zalal, Griffin, how do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, the thing is, man, I was super impressed with Youssef Salal's UFC debut against Austin Lingo, man. He looked really good in that fight. And that was also a pretty much short notice. That was like 1 or 2 weeks before the event happened. That was added to that event, if I'm correctly.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Jordan Griffin, he was supposed to take on Derek Minner earlier this month, like 2 weeks ago, I think. Didn't happen. Yeah, I think fun fight, but man, what I saw so far, I have to favor Youssef Zalal in this one, man. I'm going with a unanimous decision for the Moroccan Devil, keeping that winning streak going to 3.
Yeah, I haven't really been impressed with Jordan Griffin at all, and I think he was behind in that fight against TJ Brown that he got that submission win over. So I'm taking Zalal as well. Unanimous decision for me. All right. Moving along, headlining the first portion of the prelims, we got UFC newcomers fighting at strawweight. Kay Hansen and Jin Yu Fry. Hansen is the -145 favorite. The comeback on the Invicta FC atomweight champion. Fry is +125. She's experienced 9-4. Her last 7 wins, though, have come by a decision. Hansen, meanwhile, the second youngest fighter on the roster now, behind Chase Hooper at 20. She's 6-3 as a pro, also from Invicta. She has won 2 straight fights against tough competition. So kind of surprised to see a champion in Fry. Granted, it is at atomweight, the underdog here. Marcel, I'm going to take the experience factor with Fry, someone who's gone 25 minutes before to take up. I'll go split decision, but what do you see?
Yeah, difficult fight to pick, like you said, man. I mean, Hansen is definitely, she's still young, man. She, like you said, she's the second youngest fighter in the UFC now. Frey, the thing with Frey is she ain't bad, but if she really faces tough competition, she doesn't do it well. You know, got defeated by Ayaka Hamasaki twice, lost to Sylvie Ham and to Askren Bell like 5 or 6 years ago. But she has also some solid wins against Harika Taburcio, who has a win over Karate Hadi. She actually won the title against Karate Hadi in Invicta. And former Invicta champion. She got stripped from the belt because she didn't make weight in the last fight. I think it will be a close fight. I'm also going with Jinju Freya. I'm also taking her via split decision. I think it will be a close fight. But I was honestly surprised. They not with I figured Hansen maybe via the Contender Series, she would get a chance, but I was pretty surprised they signed Frey. Definitely because she's actually an atomweight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of speculation on whether we'll see an atomweight division, but who knows? Um, we move along here in welterweights on deck. Ramiz Brahimaj taking on Takashi Sato. Sato, the minus 130 favorite. The comeback on Brahimaj is plus 110. And I know you're in agreement here. Great to see Ramiz Brahimaj get this opportunity. Was supposed to fight Miguel Beza, Dana White's Contender Series last summer. Brain scan revealed an irregularity, but he is now cleared, ready to go. So happy to see him get this opportunity here. Trains at Fortis MMA, a lot of great talent there. As we know, he's 8-2 as a pro, comes into this one off a March 2019 55-second triangle choke win in LFA. All those 8 wins come either by round 1 or round 2 finish. Meanwhile, Sato on the other side, 15-3, been training at Sanford MMA down in South Florida. He's developed a real close relationship with UFC world champion Kamaru Usman, and 1-1 in the UFC, most recently taking a loss to Bilal Muhammad at Abu Dhabi last year. Had a bout with Maki Pitolo, scrapped since then. Marcel, the newcomer Brahimaj, the 18-fight vet Sato. How do you see this one playing out?
Fun thing always when I hear the name Sato, I have to think about the Karate Kid 2 with Mr. Miyagi's biggest rival in Japan. Sato.
Sato.
I always have to think about that. Yeah, like you said, Takashi Sato, he's a good fighter, man. He came from the Pancras organization. Good debut in the UFC, but losing to Bilal Muhammad, which is not that bad. You know, Bilal is a great fighter. Ramiz Brahimaj from Fortis MMA. Yeah, big talent, man. I mean, I really like him fight. I think if he can get an early finish, round 1, round 2, I favor him. But the longer the fight goes, I favor Sato. So it's either picking a unanimous decision for Sato or a finish for Ramiz Brahimaj. I think Ramiz gets a finish. I'm taking him via submission in the second round.
I'm a big fan of Ramiz. I'm a big fan of the guys at Fortis. Happy that that rightfully earned opportunity didn't go to waste. But I'm thinking about the level of talent at 170 down at Sanford MMA right now, and it's second to none. I mean, you got Kamaru Usman, you got Gilbert Burns, you got Michael Chandler, you got Logan Storley, you got Derek Brunson, Vitor Belfort, Michael Johnson, Robbie Lawler, Des Green, Danny Roberts, Jason Jackson, Vicente Luque, Omar Morales, Tyler Ray. I mean, look at the level of talent in that room right now. I think Sato's going to be ready to go. I got to favor him with a submission in the second round.
Guys, I just wanted to point out that Max came up with all those names out of his head. He's not reading anything up. He's just spitting it all on camera, just out of nowhere.
To be fair, I did think of it off the top of my head for the show notes. Right there, though, I did read it.
Those things you shouldn't say, man. I mean, I give you some props. Just take the props and let it go.
I thought I could sense the sarcasm. We move along to featherweight in a fight between, actually it's at 150 catchweight here, Sean Woodson and Kyle Nelson. Woodson, the minus 245 favorite. The comeback on Kyle the Monster Nelson is plus 205. Woodson is a perfect 7-0, and he hails from St. Louis, Missouri, the great city. He is 28 years old. He trains at Glory MMA and Fitness in Kansas City, as well as the Wolves Den Training Center in St. Louis. Nice UFC debut, dominant 3-round decision win over Kyle Bochniak after getting the UFC call with that flying knee knockout on Dana White's Contender Series. I picked that Bochniak fight correctly. Marcel did not. Just want to throw that out there. The Monster Nelson, 13-3, 1-2 in the UFC. Recently, a knockout win over Polo Reyes. That was his first in the UFC. He actually was offered to fight Grant Dawson on short notice in Norfolk, but literally had dental work done the day before, so couldn't have made it done. Couldn't get his teeth in line. But otherwise, he would have taken it 100%. Marcel, you going with my fellow hometown man in Sean Woodson, or are you taking the Canadian Nelson? What's your breakdown?
I'm going with your fellow hometown man Woodson. That's my breakdown. I'm taking him via unanimous decision.
You know, while the small cage might favor Nelson, that is my first small cage reference, I got to go Woodson all day. I think he lands a big shot, puts him away. TKO, second round for Sean Woodson. All right, heavyweights on deck. Felipe Lins and Tanner Boser, 110 apiece, according to the betting line. Marcel, why don't you kick things off for us at this heavyweight tilt?
So Tanner Boser, Canadian, came into the UFC. Pretty good. I mean, he won against Daniel Spitz, unanimous decision. After that, lost to Cyril Gane, which is not that bad. But I mean, Cyril Gane is probably one of the biggest prospects in the heavyweight division. Felipe Lins was a former PFL champion in 2018, didn't fought at all in 2019, and then losing to Andrei Arlovski in his debut after a good first round, but completely gave it away in the second and third. Um, yeah, I said back then there is never a time to make up for your first opportunity, but Felipe Lins, man, if he doesn't win this one, is probably a complete bust in the UFC so far, you know. And Tanner Boser, I think Tanner Boser is a pretty good fighter. He's really strong, man. I mean, he showed that in his fights at ACB. I saw many of his fights in ACB, where he lost some there as well, but he looked good in some as well. So nothing too bad. It's a hard fight for me to pick this one, man. I think it's pretty close, actually, but I'm favoring the Brazilian getting it done via unanimous decision.
Yep, Felipe Lins, although close, he lost that fight to Arlovski. That snapped the four-fight winning streak. Boser, you mentioned the 1-1, but was set to meet Jeff Hughes in March in Columbus. That obviously canceled due to the pandemic. I'm going Lins here too. I like his striking. I think he gets it done with a TKO second round for Felipe the Monstro Lins. All right, headlining the prelims, we got an MMA DNA exclusive. Miranda Maverick taking on Mara Romero Barella. Maverick, the UFC newcomer, is a minus 300 favorite. The Italian Barella plus 250. She is 12-8 as a pro, 2-4 in the UFC, and has lost 3 straight fights. Finished in 2 of them. Makes a quick turnaround. She was submitted by Courtney Casey by a first-round armbar on May 16th. Fear the Miranda Maverick, 7-2 as a pro, only 22 years old, 5-fight win streak, sorta. 2 of those were technically exhibition fights in Invicta, but I'll count them here. Most recently knocked off surging UFC vet Pearl Gonzalez in Invicta in February. Was contacted actually to face Maria Agapova a gap of 2 weeks back, but unable to make the weight apparently. So good to see her get another shot here. Maverick and Barella. Big Marcel, can you trust Mara Romero Barella to win a fight in 2020 right now?
No.
Me neither. I'm going Maverick all day here. Submission second round. How about you?
I'm going Maverick as well. Submission first round.
All right. Going to the main card here, got a fight at lightweight, should be fun. Luis Pena, the minus 270 favorite, taking on Kama Worthy, the plus, and my screen just froze, the plus 230 underdog, the Death Star. Marcel, why don't you kick things off here?
Yeah, Luis Pena, man, was actually supposed to fight Alex Munoz last time out, but that didn't go through, and Steve Garcia fell in. He defeated Steve Garcia before that, losing to Matt Frivola via split decision.
Yeah, you forgot to skip over the fact that you picked Garcia in that fight on about 4 days' notice, up 2 weight classes.
So this was it for today, guys. See you next week.
I have to get my bullets in because I know what's coming on the next fight, so I got
to. Okay. Let's see what happens on the next fight. But yeah, you completely put me off right now. Kama Worthy, he had a great UFC debut. Probably might be debut of the year. A knockout win in the first round against Devontae Smith. I think they both trained together before a few years before. Man, he had 2 canceled fights against Azaitar and against Michael Johnson for that April 18 card, which was canceled due to coronavirus. Or the pandemic, as I should say, in the US. We just say the coronavirus. I actually favor Kama Worthy in this fight, man. I think he gets it done. I think he knocks him out first round.
Wow. Big pick from Marcel. Yeah, worthy, terrific debut. That knockout of Devontae Smith, he was a plus 640 underdog. That was his sixth straight win. Performance of the night bonus earned there. Violent Bob Ross coming in off that win over Steve Garcia. I got to favor Pena here. I think she should be able to avoid the big bomb, and he gets it done himself. Give me Pena submission second round.
Max safe pick. Free.
Call like I see it. We go on to the next fight at heavyweight between John Vellante and Maurice Green. Green, the minus 235 favorite, Vellante at plus 195. Green is 33 years old, the crochet boss, 8-4 as a pro, 3-2 in the UFC, and comes into this one having been finished in back-to-back fights. Really frustrating guy for me. I picked wrong on him 4 out of 5 fights. John Vellante, meanwhile, the UFC's favorite personality. He's 17-11. 2-2 in his last 4, comes in off a TKO loss to Michal Alexeychuk in February of 2019, had fights with Mike Rodriguez and Ben Rothwell scrapped from injury. Marcel, Mo Green, John Vellante, how do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, man, John Vellante. The funny thing is, it's not funny, but I always compare him to Chris Weidman, but the worst version of Chris Weidman. And the stand-up version of Chris Weidman. So John Vellante, I don't know if this is a good thing that he goes to heavyweight, to be honest, man. I mean, kind of weird, in my opinion. I think light heavyweight was good for him, although not that those great results, very many split decisions. I think he had 4 split decisions. 2 went this way and 2 went his opponent's ways. And he lost to Michal Alexeychuk and wasn't in Prague last year.
I think so, yeah.
Thank you for filling me in, Max Friedman. Now facing Maurice Green. Maurice Green lost 2 straight against Pavlovich and against Olenek. I both called those fights correctly. I'm not going to say anything about my co-host. So I'm taking Maurice Green, man. I think he gets back on track, defeating John Vellante. I got him via knockout in the first round. I think he lands a bomb.
Exact same pick. I think Vellante needs to let his hands go, and he's just not. That's not going to happen.
No.
I'm surprised you refrained from mentioning the Maurice Green Jr. Albini fight, but I'm surprised. But hey, Marcel, maybe you're more mature than I am. Your 1 year of extra of life on this earth has made you more mature than me.
Sometimes you gotta be a little bit more humble, to you, because I can trash you all day, but that's not what I like to do.
Oh, we're friends. We got an awesome middleweight fight on deck here. Kyle Daukaus making his UFC debut, taking on Brendan Allen. Allen is the minus 300 favorite.
I hate this fight so low.
Daukaus is plus 250. I do too, because I love both these guys, and you hate to see one of them lose. Ian Heinisch attempted to make the 2 UFC walk in 21-day turnaround. He suffers an injury, opening the door for Kyle Daukaus. He's 9-0 as a pro out of Philly. The CFFC middleweight champion had a dominant win in 2019 on the Dana White's Contender Series, but snubbed out of a contract. Gets 2 finishes, and here he is taking the call. Allen, meanwhile, 2-0 in the UFC on a 6-fight win streak, 5 finishes. Both of his UFC fights ended by a finish. Very well-rounded guy and only 24 years old, training out of Rufus Sport. Marcel, you already mentioned it. We both hate this fight for reasons that we want to see both these guys win and succeed, and they both can be around for a long time, but they are matched up. How do you see this one playing out?
It's just fucking atrocious that Kyle Daukaus has to get his UFC contract on short notice, man. I mean, what the hell? Dude deserves it after the Contender Series, but yeah, Dana's looking for finishes. So, Brendan Allen, like you said, I'm impressed by dude, man. He fought I think 3 times for the LFA title, and the 3rd time he got it.
The charm, yeah.
Yeah. He defeated Aaron Jeffrey with pretty much ease on the Contender Series, and then went into the UFC. 2-0 since Kevin Holland win and Tom Breeze. Kyle Daukaus, CFFC, one of my favorite organizations to watch. He had difficulties, man, with Steven Rankman, I remember, but he completely turned it around and he submitted him in the 2nd round. And also the Norwood fight was good. I don't like to. I would prefer to pick a draw here, but I have to pick someone, so I'm taking Brandon Allen via decision. But I really don't like the matchup for the simple reason that I don't want to see Daukaus lose and I don't want to see Allen lose.
This is a gritty fight, hard to pick, but I'm going to take Allen in a hard-fought, late third-round submission win for All-In Allen. But we'll see, man. This is going to be fun. Co-main event time at 170 between Mike Perry and Mickey Gall. Minus 310 for Mike Perry. Mickey Gall is the plus 255 underdog. I'm kind of surprised to see this matchup. Mickey Gall is 6-2. He's 28. Has fought all but one of his pro fights in the UFC. 5-2 in the UFC, coming off that controversial win over Salim Touari. Had bouts with Carlos Condit and Alex Oliveira, scratched since. Perry is also 28. Fan favorite, but the record sets at 6-6 in the UFC and 2-5 in his last 7. Comes in off back-to-back losses to Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal. Apparently, he has left Jackson Winklejohn. Not clear if he's back at Fusion Excel or if he's training on his own. Likes to stir stuff up on social media, so very unclear on what he's actually doing and where he's training. Marcel, Perry, Gall, what do you think of this matchup as the co-main event? And then break it down for us.
Mike Perry is training at Latori MMA.
What is Latori MMA?
That's his girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Latori. So you didn't pick up on it. Okay.
No.
So he only has her in his corner on Saturday. You know that, right?
Yeah, I've heard him say that, but is that really the case? Is he not going to show up and Julian Williams is right there and Alex Nicholson's right there and maybe Danielle's back? Who knows?
I don't know. We'll see. But, oh, man, I don't know why this is the co-main event, to be honest, man. I can't trust Mickey Gall, man. Dude lost to Diego Sanchez. I mean, give me Mike Perry first round knockout.
I can't either. I'm right there with you.
Mike submit him.
Gall's not going to be able to take him down.
Perry first round.
Gall's not going to be able to take him down. He's not on the feet. Got to favor Perry to get it done via TKO. I think it's going to be a very one-sided fight. Main event time, a much more competitive fight here at lightweight. The number 3 ranked Dustin Poirier is the minus 220 favorite against the number 5 ranked Dan Hooker at plus 180. The former interim UFC lightweight champion Poirier coming out of ATT, 25-6 as a pro, only 31 years old, 18-5 and 1 no contest, which should have been a win in the UFC. He is coming off the title loss, unification loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov in September. But I'll tell you what. When Dustin Poirier came into the UFC and beautifully beat up Josh Grisby in his UFC debut, I was sold. I knew he was going to be a future contender. Hooker, meanwhile, 20-8 out of City Kickboxing, a team Marcel is still not sold on despite having 2 UFC champions. 10-4 in the UFC, has won 3 straight over some of the division's best, and is 7-1 since moving up to lightweight. Marcel, the floor is yours for the main event. Dan Hooker, Dustin Poirier. How do you see this one playing out?
You got to give good information, man. I said I'm sold on Volkanovski and I'm sold on Adesanya. And that's maybe easy because those are champions right now, but I'm sold on those 2 guys. Dustin Poirier, like you said, man, he's just a staple in this division, man. He's great. He's a top 5 guy. He's actually maybe top 3 now, right? I don't know exactly, but in my opinion, he's top 3. He's a great fighter. Dan Hooker, on the other hand, looked good in his recent fights. I mean, the Paul Felder fight, split decision, could have gone either way, honestly, but he looked good in that fight. It was a fun fight to watch. But I don't see Dan Hooker as a top 5 guy, to be honest, man. And I said that to you before, and I know you absolutely disagree with me. And I absolutely don't give a fuck about that. I think Dan Hooker is a solid fighter, but Dustin Poirier, or do they say that there are levels to this? And I think Dustin Poirier is a level above him. So I'm taking Dustin Poirier to knock him out in the second round.
Dan Hooker can win this fight. I'm not going to say he can't. He's put the lights out for many tough top contenders, and he's gone to war with others. But I'm in agreement. I got to go Poirier to get it done. But this fight is way closer than I think you think. I'm going Poirier TKO in the 3rd round. I see it kind of playing out similar to the Justin Gaethje fight, a lot of back and forth early on, and then Poirier finding a hand home for that left hook. Dan Hooker
By
has
the
earned
way,
himself that number 5 ranking. I would not take him against any of the 4 in front of him, but he has earned himself that number 5 ranking. I think he beats a lot of the guys listed below him, if not all of them, at least right now. So say what you want
I don't
about the
say he
guy.
didn't.
He's earned his spot there.
He definitely did, man. He definitely did. But it's just an opinion, man. I mean, don't shoot at me. And what the hell is with that poster, man? For this event?
What, the one without a?
With Poirier, Hooker, Perry, and Gall on, man. What did they do with Hooker's face on that poster?
Oh,
And
I
don't
don't
tell me
even
you
know.
didn't saw it.
No, I
My
didn't.
God, well, I'm gonna show it to you, man. What the hell? You don't know? It's just like what the. I'm just shocked. You have no idea about this poster. Here you go. Can you see it?
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell?
That's funny, man. All right, let's recap this. Oh no, we got to pick bonuses. Big Marcel, you're up first. Fight of the night. Who you got?
Man, yeah, let's pick the main event, right? The
Yeah,
two-round fight can be main. It can be fight of the night. So
I am going to go Allen and Dawkins.
yeah, that would have been my second pick. Yeah.
All right, performance of the night bonuses for me are going Poirier and Perry. Backups are going to be Maurice Green and let's go Sean Woodson.
Poirier, Perry, Green, Worthy.
All right, underdog. Your options: Ramiz Brahimai, Jinyu Fry, Kama Worthy, or Felipe Lin. Sorry.
That's actually hard. Felipe Lins.
Me too. And then lock of the night for me is going to. I think I got to go Perry, Mike Perry. Who is your lock of the night, Marcel?
Miranda Maverick.
Oh, that's a good pick too. All right. So we're both taking Yusuf Zolal over Jordan Griffin. Both have Jinyu Frey over Kay Hansen. I got Takashi Sato. He's got Ramiz Brahimai. Both have STL Zone Sean Woodson over Kyle Nelson. Both have Felipe Lins. Both have Miranda Maverick over Mara Barella. I got Luis Pena. He's got Kama Worthy. I got Mo Green. We both have Mo Green. Both have Brendan Allen over Kyle Dawkins. Both have Mike Perry over Mickey Gall. Both have Dustin Poirier over Dan Hooker. Lock of the night for me is Mike Perry. For Marcel, it's Miranda Maverick. We're both taking Felipe Lins as our underdog pick. Performance of the night bonus winners. We both have the same official picks with Poirier and Perry. Backup picks for me: Maurice Green, Sean Woodson. For Marcel, Maurice Green, Kama Worthy. Fight of the night for me is Brendan Allen, Kyle Dawkins. For Marcel, it's Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker. Any final thoughts on the card, Marcel? What's the plan? Just at home, watch the card, have a monster, same old.
Ben and Jerry's.
Dude, you sent me the picture, and then I got jealous because I've never seen that before, and I want it.
The thing is, I can't send it to you because then it's melted.
Good point. I want to try something new this weekend. I got some Netflix and chill, which is good, but I'm like kind of craving something new, exciting. But we'll see.
What kind of flavors you got over there?
Usually get like my fiance loves the chocolate one, so we get like the chocolate fudge brownie or half baked or something like that. But then we'll get like Netflix and chilled, maybe like milk and cookies or cookies and cream or like something more vanilla based that I like.
Yeah. So those chocolate ones are so heavy to eat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
These
don't
are
like them
so,
as much.
no, me neither. Also big vanilla, more vanilla guy.
Big vanilla guy.
Kind of sounds weird, a vanilla guy, but you know what I mean.
Like Chase Sherman, vanilla gorilla over there.
Yeah.
Big Marcel, where can the people find and follow all your great content via the interwebs?
MMADNA.nl, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my personal account, Big Marcel24 on Twitter and Instagram. I want to say one more thing, man, to all those people who went after Max Roscoff on the internet, man. Fuck
Terrible.
you. I mean, what's wrong with those people, man? I mean, he deleted his Twitter account. That's just horrible. And if you read his messages on Instagram, I mean, there are some positive messages between it, but some people like, I lose money on you, and bitch, you're a quitter, that kind of stuff, man. Go off the internet, man. What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, terrible. The guy took a fight on less than 2 weeks' notice. Give him a break.
Yeah.
I do want to point out, though, Marcel, I think I had a pretty spot-on read on that one.
I tweeted to you. I don't know if you saw it, but I tweeted to you that you have a good read on that one.
Yeah. But he'll be back. He's a talented kid with a full training camp. This isn't the last you'll see of him.
So, Max, like I said, I tweeted to you, so don't try to put more feathers up in your ass, dude.
I don't remember seeing it, but who knows? I bet you did.
I'm gonna search specifically for the tweet now, dude. So that
a lot of folks coming out with the Contender Series news. I know you and I are both very excited about that. Really 100%. Looking forward to that for later this summer. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We will be back for the big July 11th card. I believe that's next, right?
Yeah, it is.
All right, we will see you then. Thanks, everyone.
Red rose, pink